Oh, I'm not gonna be late, my friends. No, we're not going to be late here. I shall refuse to be late. No late here. Well, why are you continuing to count down? I've definitely started sending data already. No. No, I'm not late. Oh, I don't put my gloves on. Obviously, I haven't turned a single app so far, but like, point being, I've obviously. We shall start setting up the car, obviously, because there's not gonna be a long time during qualifying to do so. The bump stop range is the maximum. Okay. Also, it hasn't gone completely spastic yet. Good. We don't need to exercise at for once. Okay, aggressive presets. 30 degrees Celsius. Yeah, it's quite warm. Now we're gonna keep a rear wing bit in. This car's, after all, like, you know, you will actually use the rear wing. Because while we are gonna top out, obviously, it's... Hopefully not just constantly just topping out. One click soft to the front suspension. One click soft to the rear. And then lower that bump stop range. Because that's just absurd numbers. I'm gonna let the GT3s go out first. We're just here for some practice. We don't give really about where we qualify. We just need to get a bit of track experience. 170 liters is the maximum this car can carry. Okay, checking out total to 1. ABS to 1. Not really interested in running anything else there. Tire pressures. Whoa! There is 0.2 degrees of toe on this car. Like, not 0.02 degrees, but 0.2 degrees. That is a lot of toe. Like, a lot of toe. It's running 0.15 on the front, which is, you know, not absurd numbers. Maximize the caster, which is actually a lot of caster gain there. Yeah, I think the tire pressure might be alright. Yeah, let's just run this. See how... You finally have someone to battle with, I mean, to lap. Yes. Oh yeah, right. This car has a bit of a fun one, maybe. If we switch this over here. I think both of these are basically fun. Because the problem is, as you can see, the rev lights are down here. In any sensible, you know, driving position, those are just covered up. I don't know how you design a race car where the rev lights are just, you know, designed for midgets. So the relatively simple way we're gonna drive around this is just look at the tachometer, like this is some sort of... It shifted about 7,000 RPM. It's stupid. Man, the steering is heavy now. But yeah, I mean, I did check the other guys' like track records briefly earlier, and he was like, you know, he drove with these guys in their GT3 championship in the AM class, so it's like he's probably at about 2000 SimGrid rating, and it's not just you know, an alien that hasn't done more than 40 SimGrid races and hasn't increased his rating yet. No, I think this is genuinely someone who is at about 2000 SimGrid rating. Fair enough. Can't be giving it to him. But still, I mean, if this car's really bad, then this can happen. Obviously, that like that he could end up, you know, being faster than me. By trying to win 2 races at the same day. Yeah, that's kind of like crazy that he's doing the iRacing 24 hours on the same weekend as an F1 Grand Prix. It's kind of wild. Not gonna lie. You murdered just that bald Cone, yes, I murdered Coon.
Yellow flag, be careful there. Slow car ahead.
That's remaining stable. Oh god. Well, that didn't fall, it's well up. But yeah, the car understood like complete motherfucker for that. It just didn't turn whatsoever. Oh, it's messing slightly with my brain how this thing is a right-hand drive for this section here. And attached to the tarmac. I don't know what you're talking about, which cone I specifically murdered. Oh, this thing has a lot of high spin on us there. Yeah, we're gonna just take the rear wing off the car again. This thing has a lot of runs, and there we're topping out. Not too surprising. The thing is, this car is down on top speed, but like it's generally speaking, like not a slow car on straight line. Like it has the power to get up to speed reasonably well. It's something the KTM Expo can talk about. I know I haven't developed this lab, I should probably abandon. Just to... car can have good rotation on corners like that. It's like the interesting part. Let's briefly head to mood cover. I mean, we're already here. People who put pineapple on pizza. On one hand, I shall suggest casting them into the Tartarus, but like on the other hand, it's like, you know, I do eat pineapple on like raclette. I don't know how to explain that one, but like, but you effectively just have your small skillet, you throw some ham in there, you put the pineapple slice into it, and then you put some cheese on top of it, and yeah, that works great. So like, if I extend like it on a pizza, would probably work. As much as you ethically should do it, like I can totally imagine this like not tasting like shit. Pineapple on what? The concept of raclette is unknown, I see. Yeah, time pressures were a bit high even. Let's go 0-3 down on the front. Yeah. Let's take the last click of rearing out of the car. And perhaps jack even the right head up from the back. Giving it some extra rotation. Also reducing, I think, the bump stop range of the car a bit. That might help. If not bottoming out. Okay, so I need to go because that's 2 minutes 30 right down the clock. I need to get around the GP zoom briefly. Hold on for a minute. I like a melon. Like a melon. Raclette is why are you asking for the skill? It's like, but the raclette is basically you have like a small furnace. I don't know how to describe it. Usually it is it's a device which has usually a top pan which like you can heat up stuff on the top part, but like usually it's just the top part mainly serves to shield the heating so it goes down, because you underneath the top part you have a heating coil and that blows the energy downwards. And then you have like slots for like multiple pans where you can put them, or skillets as I called them, small pans, and into them you put, well, things like ham, things like salami, things, cheese, and something in between those two ingredients, like tomato, like paprika, like onion, and everything else. Backlit. I think? Dude. I just searched it up. It's a thing that's like relatively traditional for like Christmas. Like a Christmas dish. No. Well, actually, is it Christmas? It's more New Year, I think. I wouldn't usually like cheese fondue is a more popular selection for that one. So 9 minutes 30 of overtime. That's enough for me to do a lap. So we're gonna literally make everyone else sit there for an overtime lap. Because I couldn't have been bounced for a lap to the Ginetta.
There's a slow car ahead. Yellow flag, be careful.
Yeah, I think my competitor's not that fast. He's 77 seconds of pole time. I don't know what pole time. Well, actually, I do know what his time was. 9 minutes 28. You can just look at the next tab, but it's just the GT4, so it's like. Well, 9 minutes 28 is not fast. I should probably absolve my GT3 companion. Well, this is GT3 like 10 seconds behind me right now. Which he's, I think, also likely on a valve lap. Still. So it's like, Well, he's gonna have hell of having to pass me. Considering I have a lot of give in terms of getting past my... I mean, is it do I even want to start from like, you know, what amounts to P13 or P12 when there's like, you know, at least 4 or 6 GT3 cars behind me? Ah, yeah. It's a there's specifically cheese that is sold with its name. 9:28 is not a fast time. With the Maserati, I was doing 9:07s, 9:08s. Like, I'm pretty sure sub 9:10 is not even that impressive, but like, you know, if you can't get there even, that's like, it's already a decent indicator. Yeah, GT3 is now 2 seconds behind. Or not, because he deleted himself. Well, that makes my job easier. But yeah, if I don't qualify, I only have 2 GT3s behind me. Because there are 2 that have distinctly disqualified themselves. Which I think is a better choice than, you know, actually qualifying. But having, you know, a bit of a shakedown right now, getting a bit more track mileage. Something that I think I have a usage for. Okay, that's... Yeah, the car actually turned. Shock horror. But yeah, there's one GT3 car in front of me about 30 seconds. And we're gonna just, you know... If he retires or something... He's P4. But if he, you know, teleports to the pits or something... We will immediately do so as well. But with that car, I will get onto the DerGeneralFluff and just pull over immediately. We're not even gonna finish the straight. How come we seem to not be topping out up here? We're about 10k underneath the rev limiter. Okay, we've invalidated our lap anyway, so we don't have to worry. At that point we can just continue on. Because the game will just end the session anyway, irrelevant if you're still on the lap at that point. Doesn't care. Yeah, I mean, we didn't even plan to put a... my consideration was we're not gonna even put a lap in because it wastes extra time for everyone else having to wait for us, and then also... it's probably better to start from third last instead of, you know, nearly midfield. With all the GT3s around, that's... I mean, there is already one GT4 car they have to deal with there. But like, I'm not gonna add another one. It's just starting from the back and pick our way through. Gonna mean overtaking a Mercedes AMD GT4, but like, oh, that landing was nice. Car just worked on the landing. You nearly top off in the Bella Fizz. That straightaway is just gonna be pain. Yeah, procession now ended. Now how fast have we got to reach top speeds? 5th gear, 6th gear, gantry, and rev limiter. That's gonna be my main theme at that point. Where's you don't have to shift? I think it's possible to perhaps go even sub 9 with this car. Like just from timing there, although nah, I think because we're a lot slower under the gantry, it's... But yeah, interesting. Oh yeah. We do be burping down the straights there. 7 liters on... Although actually no, we don't need 107 liters because we do need to do 2 mandatory pit stops. But we're gonna anyway do one for where I'm actually gonna change tires, I think. I mean, last race I didn't change tires in the 90-minute race. I didn't change tires on a Maserati, like that was halfway crazy. That's Nordschleife, you can sort of get away with stuff like that. Has a very indirect steering wheel, I just noticed. Let's make that slightly more direct. Okay, you can put a anti-roll on, but like I feel like we need to really put. Car has decent rotation, the slow speed stuff. So I guess we're gonna keep that stuff there. Like that. Let's save the setup because it's reasonable. Gin N2401. Well, I didn't take the underscore. So, no rain predicted so far, but like still quite overcast. Well, you can't do that, Schneider. It doesn't work. Well, that doesn't work. Well, that doesn't work. Well, the game won't allow something like that. It will punish that being out of position. Right, we do have two cars behind us still, Lee and Keys. Key was one, I think was the pulse at the last race. The race winner, maybe even. At least fighting at the front. So that's interesting for him to start at the back. He's driving a Lexus. Flores in a Porsche. I think that was the guy who... Oh, someone has missed the grid. Faker.
Low tire pressure, stay away from curbs.
Heat dumping into those brakes. How am I indicators working here? I can just dump indicator immediately. So the race starts. Trying to get some heat into these tires before we roll.
Green light, go, go, go. Car on the right, clear on the right.
Okay, no, can't find me. Oh man, the Burke got involved there. Lee is also taking his time. Yeah, the car could do with some bit more colder rotation. Like how overcast it is, I'm like expecting the clouds to burst open any moment, more or less. Yeah, we can go a lot deeper there because we're sitting on the right hand side of the car. I forget that this is the car's slightly differently laid out. Yeah, I mean, we are following him here in this section. Well, that was above ground. That curb on the inside hit. Avoiding that on the left-hand drive car is already hard enough. And the right-hand drive is quite impossible. Mr. Schneider. But I mean, he's gonna now gap me over this section, yeah. Likely.
Car on the right. Clear on the right.
Well, I guess that's an overtake on the grass.
There's a slow car ahead.
Oh, yeah, there's the GT3 from the pits coming by. I just didn't expect him to like stop for that corner. On the other hand, yeah, the Merc doesn't rotate much in especially high speed stuff, so too surprising that he suddenly came to a stop there. I mean, you need to basically trim the car at maximum to get any rotations out of it. I mean, getting thrown onto the grass there, not crashing into the wall is like kind of impressive. On me. I mean, he didn't even die from it. We both had to slow down a lot, but although he just died, I think. Like that was him gone. Ran wide there on the exit. I mean, he's gonna probably be like, I don't know how you would be like upwards of 20 seconds off the pace. So I mean, there's GT3 drivers that are doing that. Maybe it's more AM than I was expecting. Valid it again. I think utterly did not want to slow down. Also, my brake bias adjustments are covered up by my dashboard. That's fun. That's on 56%. I guess we won't figure out how much the Merc has an advantage on the longer straights. Because I don't do have them as long as I expected to. Yeah, that's kind of also the hellscape of like you do decide to sign up for GT4 and it's like there's some insane maniac who
Looks like a charging front. There's a slow car ahead.
who laps like the upper 10% around the circuit with the lower 50% of cars. Haven't actually checked how much. Oh yeah, I hadn't actually mentioned this on the stream earlier. I did on Thursday, after I completed my mandatory laps for the pre-quali. I did briefly run a. I decided to do an LFM race. Yeah, bad decision. I decided to do an LFM race, Nordschleife, with the Porsche. That's running the car in a bit more. I think I qualified like 27th out of 40 GT3s. Not like too impressive. I was like 18th in terms of rank. But had a decent start, although I did take some people out nearly at the fucking hairpin. That wasn't particularly great. And then the big thing was following a Ford.
There's a slow car ahead.
Still on the GP loop.
Be careful.
Was following a Ford going through the Hudson-Bach bend, and he just suddenly swerves to the left. And well, it was because there was a Ferrari. No, it wasn't a Ferrari. I think a Ferrari was involved in the incident, but it was a Merc standing there. It's the Merc suddenly fucking standing there. I swerved still to the right, but couldn't it fast enough, and just clattered it like that was my race done. And I'm like, okay, fine, I'm gonna come into the pits and, you know,
Slow car ahead.
just take the shortcut in the GP loop, go into the pits. It's fine. No, pits closed. Oh, fucking hell. Yeah, I guess then the leader needs to reach the end of Sector 1, right? And he hasn't done that yet. So let's go another lap around the GP loop and then enter the pits again. No, still closed. I'm like, fucking hell. Okay, I But yeah, that was that. Not a great experience. So when I came into the pits a second time with the pits closed, I was just like, okay, fuck it. I'm gonna call it a night. And the thing is, if I had just, you know, because it happened just before the end of the lap, if I had just continued onto the Nordschleife, I would have been fine. I didn't have a meatball. The damage looked bad, but like the car was kind of still drivable. It didn't have much steering damage or anything. It was probably god-awfully slow at that point, and I was basically lost, but like I could have easily gotten back around, done my mandatory pit stop like usual, just taken the extra 50 seconds of repairs, because it was minute 18 I think for the pit stop, and just gotten on with my race with like relatively minimal time losses. But no, I decided to be like, yeah, I'm gonna be smart and come into the pits, and it's like, no, it didn't work. For the Ford Fiesta. I didn't even get hit by the Ford Fiesta. I got...
Yellow flag ahead. Watch out.
The Ford Fiesta covered up the accident in front of me. Oh, Keys is behind me again. I didn't notice when I passed the Lexus.
Flag ahead. Be careful.
Yeah, I did check the sign-ups before hopping on, and like, yeah, there's still only 2 GT4s. I guess also it's hard to just not do it, which is, you know, sensible. Yeah, okay, I have a slight problem with how the mirror is placed and me not paying attention. Luckily, we don't have to deal with that much GT3 traffic. Feels like it's about to pop. Oh, it sucks. A lot. I hope you get Bell soon. Migraines do come for me from time to time. Especially if I fuck around with my sleep schedule. My body is like, you wanna fuck around and find out? In the finding out part of the migraines. It's also like just not hydrating properly. I've probably used the previous thread. I have to run up to Metzgersfeld, which is, you know, itself a fucking treacherous corner. Yeah, there's more GT3s behind us still. Yeah, I mean, it runs on the same weekends as we track this series. Oh. Jesus! Oh boy! I'm forgetting at times this thing has right-hand drive and like dip a wheel into the grass. Well, it isn't that regularly that I dip a wheel in the grass, it's more like I hit a curb or don't hit a curb because I forget how the car is distributed underneath me at times. Oh yeah, the 2.4. I still need to nail down Jordan on the Indianapolis 4 race I posted, and the V4H. Need to nail our class winner down for that. Okay, 15 seconds, that's a GT3 behind. Not too much. But it's also like, having to check what else is. I have to look when that 2.4 hour race is. Oh wait, isn't it 2.4 hour by Toga? Isn't that like Toga's 2.4 hour series? Which has GT3, GT4 and GT2. If I remember correctly. I think that's an entire championship that starts on the 31st. If I remember just correctly. And I think that's the 31st is a Friday, if I also remember correctly. Yeah, yeah, 34H. Yes. Yeah. Check. Yeah. I mean, I'm here for like the next 2 hours in case you don't fall asleep. Or if you want to use the stream as Ginetta noises to fall asleep to. Once did that. Yeah, I mean,
Clear on the right.
I was literally watching the VOD of the race earlier and then just fell asleep to that. And now we can experience the Raver limiter. And we have now 163 seconds to Peter in class. So he's having a rough time of it. Well, we can break later than that. So it turns out this car is faster than the Maserati around this track. 9 minutes 05.
There's a slow car up ahead.
There's like flag calls coming from like so far away, it's constantly just irritating. I think it's because you get a yellow flag in the in this flag display and the in-game HUD displayed when you're still in the same sector as the yellow flag, and because this track has only 3 sectors for this game at least, because the map does draw all the technical sectors in, because they're all there. I think that's why we're having these weird bogus yellow flag calls. You can rely on the marshals because they will wave yellow and white flags correctly when there's actually a car in their marshalling sector or in the upcoming marshalling sector. So that still works correctly with all the marshalling posts around the circuit, which is very impressive. And first to last, first to last night. Yeah, I still don't know quite what happened in the track GT race, besides that she got, you know, taken out in the first lap. But apparently she made it all the way back into the lead, which is like, that's crazy. Because when I saw that happen the first time, I'm like, yeah, well, that's the chance for everyone else to actually, you know, perhaps win a round, and then just, she's like, no. Politely refuses. So one of the follies of the... She's a different kind of one. There's a reason why she's at like over 5k sim grid rating. As someone who's been perpetually stuck between 3.2k and 3.5k, like, it's, how do you even achieve those numbers? You can't like lose a single race. Like you have to win every single race you attend basically to hit such numbers. But driving a strength of field is like, because there's barely any races that come even close to that strength of field. Like even the grand finals for which the Trackalicious Championship was a qualifier for. Like even that one, the individual classes had like strengths of field. Well, it's closer because you then had like 2.4k. No, it's not 2.4k. It's like 3.8k, 4k strengths of field. So the average driver was a semi-pro at that point. Okay, I should upshift into 6th. But still, that she could like come back from that is like insane. But I mean, it's a 60-minute race. You can do it. It's a long race. It's a very long race. I don't know what the others did. Like, I don't. ISO was in the race. The way they are driving. Is that to move away from V-Track because you know it's not like I was challenging them much. But I mean, we do have a bit of a challenge this season. It's gonna be interesting. The thing is, I do have to actually practice for the rounds because you know I have a Porsche. How to fix my habits? Drive a Porsche, because if you don't set up the car, you're just gonna die. Although it wasn't too difficult to set up for the tracks I've so far tried it on. The Kangaroo Ring was a bit iffy. Kangaroo Ring wasn't particularly too fun, but like I went with a high rake set and it's like... It sort of worked, it wasn't quite fast. But if the times had actually registered, I would be 3rd place on the leaderboard there. It isn't impressive, but like... You know... Emilia is just like 2/10 faster than you on that leaderboard, so it's like... And I would be like a good half a second down the road. From that. Oh god. The Lexus mount. But yeah, for example, me just lowering the rear right height at Red Bull Ring to stabilize the car. Which just made it like an absolute rocket ship. Such an easy adjustment. I mean, it would be a bit more difficult if I had to, you know, do this for run this car in endurance races. And had to... You know, make sure the tires last an hour. Like, that's just a bit more of a challenge at that point. Kelly is right now behind us with 185 seconds. Well, 171. Depending on which leaderboard I ask. About 2.4 seconds up right now. But I don't think we're gonna be able to get sub 9 minutes. I think the car's not quite fast enough for that. Like, it's not slow, this thing, but like sub 9, I think I have it in me. Not that we need to. But it would technically mean that like this thing has a better chance of pulling off in a 90-minute race. I could actually perhaps pull off not getting lapped as a GT4 and finishing on the lead lap. Certainly something that is possible. Would you be still depending on me probably putting enough fuel in on the first stop so I can get to the end, and then the last fuel stop I need to do mandatory I do on the start of the final lap, because then while I'm refueling the leader can, you know, finish the race and I can come out and then do the final lap without getting lapped beforehand. But Lee's in the pits again. Back out, so that's another car like 80 seconds behind me. But yeah, despite this being, you know, multi-class, you don't really experience much of the other class because, you know, because this track is so large compared to most other tracks you do multi-class on. Most other tracks you get the GT3s lapping you with it once every 20 to 30 minutes, and it's like, well, here it takes 90 minutes roughly. So that's a lot longer. Which is why you will basically never deal with GT3 traffic besides stragglers, and at least not in, you know, races this short. We will today obviously deal in the other half of the race with a few more people. I don't know if she's still here. She's maybe headed off because she has a migraine and stuff. But hello, Andrina. How are you doing? But we're leading by a bit over the other GT4 driver. I mean, I did look at the guy. According to his SimGrid rating, he's a seasoned rookie with 2,000 rating. It's like, okay, that doesn't mean much. So, what was he previously driving? And he was like competing in the PanAm GT3 Championship as in the GT3 AM category, and it's like, okay, that's gonna be interesting. And then like, I passed him around the outside at Flugplatz, so it's just like already that's not a good sign. And we're now with 3 laps completed, and he is about 215 seconds behind me. Yeah, he's not doing too hot in his Mercedes. Well, I'm just doing here fine with my Ginetta. It's kind of frustrating how much faster this thing is around the circuit than the Maserati. Like about 5 seconds per lap. Although it's not quite fast enough to do sub 9 minutes. Like maybe in a qualifying, with like fuel taken out of the car and everything. That invalidated the lap already. I prefer a second up, but like, Still wouldn't have been enough. Would have just moved the lap time down to 9 minutes or 2. That's the power of him, boys. I see. This corner here is... Time's catching me out. And we've just dipped underneath 5 laps of fuel remaining. This thing has basically only fuel for 8 laps. Considering 9-minute lap times this, it's more than sufficient getting an hour in. So we're gonna lightly just run it up till that point, empty, and then refuel it. Fuel it a bit and then refuel it again, because we have to do 2 mandatory pit stops. That's the config for this series. 2 mandatory pit stops with fuel. Tires are optional. Consideration is definitely to just slap a new set of tires on, not run a full race with 1 set of tires. Yeah, tire pressure is also a bit low, so it probably makes sense to just the halfway point roughly pits, slap some new shoes on, and then do a small splash and dash at the end. Not like, well, not really any time pressure, but that's also like, do I want to like run 2 hours on a set of tires? It's Nordschleife in GT4 after all, so that's like not completely insane. Echt muss werden Leistungsmedikament, weißt du? So von der new. Oh, there's a yellow. Oh, it's a local yellow. Keys is back in the pits for his 2nd pit stop, but he's not getting to the end of the race here on that one. This race is not going too well. Water's doing their first, which is like, yeah, still fine. This point in the race. But yeah, Ginetta has also done one of the 2 pit stops already. So, my competitor has already pitted. Okay, listen to the anthem of my car choices. I'm not sure if like pushing the clutch in maybe rolling down the hill here would be perhaps faster. I don't think it will be. Can probably brake later even still. Yeah, tire pressures are like just above 26 at the average. But just. So I will probably Ah, yes. Keys has excellent pits behind me. So we're gonna get another Lexus jump scare when he passes me again. Like he did in lap 2. Yeah, 4.6 laps of fuel remaining. There's also further cars behind me, like a motor. Lee is also behind me. And he's catching about 10 seconds a lap, which is... Considering he's driving a GT3 and I'm on a GT4, that's not much. Usual catching speed expected is more like 40, if not 50 seconds per lap. Let's turn headlights on this car, just in case someone comes by. It is quite overcast. Rain is not predicted for at least the next half an hour. Probably not at all in this race. But you never know. After all, V-Track had rain. V-Track did open up with some rain. Which is a bit spooky because every single race in V-Track that had rain. Well, not every single race that V-Track that had rain. Because obviously season 7 exists where I didn't win in the rain. Did season 0 have any rain again? I don't know if the Spa round had any. I didn't attend that one. Doing an endurance race at the same time, and it just turned out like, well, yeah, we can't, you know, we're double booking each other up, so I will just take the L on this one because I've already tied the championship up. But when it comes to I can't right now think of any rain rounds outside of the previous season, the first 2 rounds. I don't think of any that had like rain at all in it. I know season 7 round 1 had rain. The torrential rain at Snetterton, where I could have finished second if the game didn't decide, my internet did decide to shut down operations for 12 hours. Till the morning when probably a technician woke up, looked at his phone, realized that shit's hit the fan, and then you know, pressed the magic button to make shit unhit the fan. This section is quite awkward here in the Wipperman in the Porsche. For some reason it doesn't quite... You basically just end up understeering into the second section, and it's just a bit awkward. Something I don't really deal with every other car. Nordschleife. Oh yeah, I did on Thursday an LFM race at the Nordschleife. I qualified 28th in the GT3 field. So I think like a 16 with my Porsche. 816. I was really struggling just to get the fucking lap together. For some reason. But I couldn't complete the GP loop. But that was like my experience last time I drove LFM. It was in the M2 Cup where for some reason I couldn't compose a lap at Suzuka. All of a sudden. To like put some bank in the end. Yeah, started the race, everything was sort of fine. I dive bombed people a bit too hard into the hairpin, but like we sort of all lived out of that one somehow. And then I was following a Ford going through Hatzenbach Bend on the GP loop still. And then he suddenly swerves to the left. And I'm just like left dumbfounded with a Mercedes stuck in the middle of the road in front of me. And while I still swerved to the right, that wasn't quite enough. I clipped him, destroyed the car. And I found out the hard way that in ACC you cannot on the first lap take the shortcut, get into the pit lane. And the even worse part is I'm pretty sure I could have just completed a normal lap, and because the car was drivable enough, like 2 laps on the GP circuit, what called it 903. And then I completely butchered turn 1. But yeah, I don't know what the actual rating had I've suffered from that one.
Car on the right. Clear on the right.
Probably not great. Because I did retire after doing 2 laps on the GP circuit, because what was the fucking point? Like at that point it just became pointless to do anything else. Like I've already lost a bunch of time. Would need to take the repairs anyway. And at that point towing just would have wasted even more time. And completing this lap regularly and then doing the pit stop would have also just been like massive waste. Just like, no, I'm not gonna fucking continue. Jesus Christ, that Claire just drove off there as well. What is sleep? Yeah, what is this thing? Sweet concept. The couch war. Deckenflotter. Oh man. Backwards from. Yeah, when you sleep on a couch that is technically not even long enough for you. You still fall asleep on well, which is like, you know, the couch that's next to my sim rig on the left. Pretty much sums that up. Oh no, last time I've slept on that thing, it was... I'm still apparently young enough that I can get away with sleeping in weird positions. But yeah, this is gonna be a lengthy race. Did I press use pressures? I'm just remembering. I think I did. I think those numbers look like pressures I was using, because I want to bump them slightly up and to get, because I'm definitely under pressure right now. Yeah, take fuel then to the end and then just sixth gear. You. I let my vision drift briefly to the leaderboard and I just immediately lose it. Also, I've just realized the other GT4 is gone at this point. Yeah, he's already retired. I've bullied already my opponent out of the race. Although last time I checked on him, it was like... not sure if I checked on him last lap, but the lap before that he was about 200 seconds behind. Although having done one pit stop, so... like, what, 140? Considering how I was increasing constantly, like... this isn't going too well for him. It's just a case, I guess, of like, you know, you can put the slow drivers into GT4s even, but like, this doesn't mean they can actually complete the circuit easier. If they struggle to just get around the circuit, they're gonna still struggle to get around the circuit. And considering the Matrix KTM situation, it's like, yeah, it might get even worse. There was also like some German league that's Jordan, Asa, and I like did a one-time event in with GT4s around Kota. And there were some drivers that were like literally 10 seconds off the pace. It's like, damn, that is impressive. That is just like over 10 15 seconds off the pace. I was like, damn, that's slow. And then that same community, they hosted a, what was it, 2.4 or 2-hour race at Imola GT3s. I think I won that one. Yeah, no, I had quite a strong fight with someone for the lead, but I think I ended up on top. In any case, I drove in that one, and I saw the same guys that were like in the GT4s, like miles off the pace. Like, sure, they weren't like setting world records in the GT3s, but like they were in the M4 still lapping considerably faster than in the GT4s. They were actually, you know, vaguely competitive and not a complete like chicane that you constantly had to lap. They were just like, yeah, they were like 3-4 seconds off the pace. It's like, that's not too bad. It's like, it's not great, but like it's at least like in the territory of like, hey, I don't need to lap here every like 3 laps. Like even in endurance racing, I've got to become like regular at that point. I don't know, 5 minutes remaining. Let's do one more lap and then come in. I'm brushing a bit late for that one. But I guess we will be having a bit of a harder time to get into the top 10 as a GT4 this time around. I think I was in the top 10 last time. Fortnite is 108 gigabytes large. Honestly, not the most surprising thing, considering how it basically contains assets for every IP unimaginable under the fucking sun. So and also it's basically hasn't like Epic transformed Fortnite at this point into like a Roblox like game where like you can develop games for it. And it's not just the modes that you just described, but like they did. You can actively like develop experiences into that game. It's like there's Unreal Engine and there is developing straight for Fortnite as well. And it's like, yeah, that's really interesting stuff in some ways. Like, I mean, I'm not a fan of that thing. Never played it. Do not have interest in doing so. But it is at times interesting. Against productive race sports. Yeah, it is. That's an interesting name, but I think BMG is a German name. In any case, I don't have a. Well, the problem is with Rennsport is that Rennsport runs on Epic Games Store, so you know, even if I was actually interested in getting into the beta, I would have to make an Epic Games account. Not interested. Not interested in the slightest. I don't have an Epic Games account. I'm not interested. I do have a GOG account. I should use it more. GOG. I do have obviously an mean, we're talking about Fortnite, which does require an Epic Games Store account. And you know, Epic Games in some ways is better than creating a fucking PSN account. Because, as far as I know, you can at least do that in most countries, an Epic Games account. Well, PlayStation Network, like, nah, you live in some of the most populous areas in Southeast Asia? Nah, we won't allow you to create an account. It's like, it's only these, like, select 40 to 60 countries in the world that can create accounts when are comically out of date. Out of touch in internet service. The reality is that they aren't even for most of the games providing the servers, they're just providing login servers. It's fucking comical. What do you mean with what? I mean, there was this, did you not hear about the entire Helldiver situation where they tried to enable, tried to force PlayStation Network login? And the problem is there's about 177 countries in the world where you can't create a PlayStation Network account, including the Philippines. Among basically entire Africa. So people can't play, people that had purchased and played Helldivers couldn't, you know, play the game anymore because they can't even create an account. And I think the purchasing restriction is still in effect for the game. Which is like, they probably have to decide to just, you know, not do it now. And maybe rephrase their strategy with this to do it like Minecraft did for the account migration. But it's just, hey, you want a free cape, and then like they have like 80% of the players, so it's like, okay, you now need to, the rest you need to now migrate, or you're gonna lose your account. That's like the Minecraft account migration had some purpose. Well, not like completely, because like there's also massive downsides still to the Minecraft account migration, because the entire reporting system that they integrated into the game, that's like the biggest piece of bullshit they were ever added. I think you want to lose your Minecraft account because, you know, you griefed on a server a bit. But that's a cringe. But yeah, genuinely, there's quite a lot of countries in the world that, like, for some reason PlayStation Network is just not supported. You can't play in the PlayStation Network. It's like, have you arrived in the 21st century? Like, fucking Sony. You don't need servers in every single country. You don't. Can't allow people to create PSN accounts outside of their region. And then play games, and then maybe your console would, you know, sell. I mean, the console is selling somehow, which is like this entire thing. Although the entire thing with Helldivers is clearly they would like a higher player account to tell the investors, a PlayStation Network user account to tell the investors. But it's just like not really happening, and PC players are not really interested in, you know, boosting their player accounts for them. This is quite annoying to deal with, these people. Let's go up 0.5 on the tire pressures. Fresh tire sets. Just fill up the fuel tank again. I don't know what you wrote after think. I actually only read the other part of blindly protect Sony. I don't know what would blindly protect Sony at that point. Oh god. It's apparently level like completely misaligned. But yeah, there is that. Oh yeah, there's entire regions in the world where you can't, where you have to buy a PlayStation 5 to actually create an account. That's also. So, yeah, right. The problem was I thought there was a word between you think blindly protect Sony, and it's like there was just an I. Like this is again, it got covered up, and I like had no clue, but it quite read. So I was like, you think blindly protect Sony, and like that can't be just an I, right? No, it is an I. No, I was not expecting you to blindly protect Sony. I was. Yeah, I completely did not expect that. So yeah, I didn't even notice that you misspelled Sony intentionally. I brain just read over it. Brain was like, yeah, that's Sony still. But yeah, I mean, I did like to bring up Sony when it comes to discussing Epic games. Although Ubisoft is probably like the worst with their entire like. Oh hey, you haven't logged into your account in like 5 years, so we'll just delete it. That's a thing with Ubisoft. There's also the entire thing of like them revoking the license to the crew from people's accounts. Like, okay, sure. It's like Ubisoft has this like propensity to foot gun themselves occasionally. You know, you have this entire like preservation movement right now, and then you do that stunt. But no, it's been moved to the inactive games. Like, no, you stepped you just created a landmine and stepped into it intentionally. It's just you could have just kept it there. Yes, there would be people who installed the game that didn't realize that it was shut down and had to uninstall it then afterwards. Great deal of issue. Hasn't like not been an issue in decades, that thing. But no, you had to do that as well and just cause headaches for everyone involved. Because you're stupid. Like just asking to make the situation worse. Actively. Soldiers and Starship Troopers. You mean the gunners? well, the gunners from Starship Troopers can't hit shit because their eyes pointing out the direction. And that's another joke you probably can't bring these days anymore. But yeah, Starship Troopers. Oh yeah, Starship Troopers. No, not Spaceballs. What the fuck am I thinking about? See the game ended by. Yeah, it's. I'm thinking, like, for some reason I thought of Spaceballs. For some reason, it's Starship Troopers. But yeah, Ubisoft is master of like just bad communications at times. Apparently, especially with their staff, because they. I think they said like in the email like last year where it was like, hey, so you know, we're not doing too hot, and it's like, you grunt developers, it's your fault. Could you please like actually develop shit properly and pull us out of this thing? And it's like, developers, well, how about striking? And then it's like, okay, this was not a good idea to phrase it this way. Because the entire fuck up of Ubisoft, with like Skull and Bones being like, well, this is a quadruple A game, is like, no, you planned this clearly as like a small spin-off game that you've released for like 40 quid to maybe 60 because you want to squeeze oil from a rock, but like it's not a special game. But like, it got stuck in development hell, not because of the developers at the lower level, it's because your management is utter fucking garbage. And a lot of your other projects are like stuck in limbo or have severe issues because your management is fucking garbage. So get off your high horse, you stupid CEO. The managers you've appointed are like not fit for the task. I should have let him fall revolver. Yeah. Well, they're kind of only alive still because of Siege. That's kind of the funny thing. It's like they're able to continue circling the drain because Siege exists. And this is their sort of life service cow that sort of still works and doesn't like completely implode. Although it's probably also not doing too financially hard, but like, you know, it exists, it still works. But yeah, there's this. It's definitely a competition of like stupidest move game studios can make, game publishers and studios can make, and there's some strong contention with Sony, with Ubisoft, with Microsoft. Yeah, that entire thing is like. The thing is, they let Arcane West just develop like DLC for fucking Redfall, and then like cancel it just before it would be like probably finished to publish. It's like actually kind of like stupid. It's like all of the development goes to waste, and you probably should have just, you know, canned the DLC by like 2 weeks after launch, because it was clear that game was a complete flop at that point. It just, okay, fine, let's just get rid of it. Maybe shut down the studio. Like, it's sad, but like, you know, at that point, who's actually remaining who made actually the games that made that studio good? That's a thing we gamers should also like quite remember. It's like, oh hey, this studio just made this game like 10 years ago that's like good, and it's like, how many people are actually in that studio still that actually developed this game? Like, the competence and everything is just gone. It's just, it's sad, but like also just you're not gonna get that game again because those developers that made it, like, they're not working there anymore. They're still working in the industry. The people working, it's like you end up with things like Starfield, which is just Morrowind in space, but the reality is that the average Fallout model probably has more of a clue of how to work with the game engine and than the developers actually working on the game. It's like, yeah, it's sad. And you can't at some point be surprised when your hiring strategy is like interns for 12 to 18 months. if that's like your strategy of developing a video game, then yeah, it's not surprising that your game takes half a decade to develop, like 7 years to develop, and then releases mediocre on any identity. It might sell still because you know you put enough marketing and there's enough people that buy soccer games every year, so it's like, someone's gonna buy it. I mean, someone bought Mad Catz controllers back in the day, so it's like, yeah. It's not like you're gonna sell DLC or anything else to these people. X-Defiant. What's that game? I feel like I've heard that name before, but like it's also like I don't quite know what it is. But yeah, I mean, people regularly forget that Ubisoft is bad. I mean, you regularly buy the next Far Cry game. Ubisoft has always it's like it's a copy of someone else named Lukas. Some work. Like Ubisoft is great at, you know, selling you a pitch, but like delivering something very generic underneath it. They don't innovate really, they just they innovate concepts. And then deliver you something very half-baked. That doesn't make you come back for perhaps more. The next time they will deliver something and it's like, usually not. Thing is, they're starting to sort of fail at even pitching things to people, so it's like, well, that's a bit of a problem. Ubisoft's COD killer. Oh boy. Like, well, that's a phrase I haven't heard in like 15 years. He's like, is there a Call of Duty still to kill at this point? I mean, the problem you have is that the people that buy and play Call of Duty, well, is like the people that are playing FIFA. It's like, you well, actually, it's not called FIFA anymore. But like, sure, whatever. It's like the same people that's like a similar mindset in terms of Pokemon. Like they will just play the next iteration of it. They don't care that the gameplay or anything. Like they may say they care, but like they don't. It's just, who's the next one of this franchise? So I will buy it and then play like it, and then, you know, buy the next one of this franchise. I won't play anything else on my PS4. It's like, not PS4, PS5. Like, they own a PS5, the only games they play is perhaps Fortnite, once the new skin comes out, and then Call of Duty. It's like, this is the normie. They exist. They buy a lot of video games. Well, they don't really buy a lot of video games, but like there's a lot of them, so they end up buying a lot of volume of video games. If you get them hooked on their one franchise that they will keep coming back to buy, you can't really, you know, release a killer, because like, yeah, it's gonna sell to people who actually, you know, look for 5 seconds at the industry. But you're not actually getting the people that buy Call of Duty every year. So like, it's gonna be... Okay, it's already dead. But it is still selling, and it's still, you know, people playing it at the end of the day. But I mean, yeah, there's no means there's like also the people that actually, you know, buy a PlayStation 5. It's like it's still like this entire no games thing for PlayStation. And it's like, I mean, is it quite true? Not really, but like it's also like, you know, the amount of games you can actually buy on a PlayStation 5 that you can't play on a PlayStation 4 is like not a lot. Considering for how long that console has been out now, it's nearly 4 years. It's gonna be 4 years at the end of this year. It's been that long that this console has been out, and it's like there's barely a reason to actually purchase it if you're a PlayStation 4 owner. It's insane. Besides, oh, but like the graphics are better, and it's like, yeah, I guess, but like, yeah, but like the copies of games are cheaper. I mean, yeah, you can play all your PlayStation 4 games as well. This is like the entire pitch. It's like, oh, you own already a PlayStation 4 in the library, so like you can just upgrade them from the ecosystem. Like, there's no point if you're not in it to buy one. You look at Nintendo and it's like, yeah, that's yeah, what a Switch. It's like, it's a very unique piece of hardware that has a unique set of games. Like, yeah? That doesn't cost an arm and a leg to purchase as well. It's like, yes? The PlayStation 5 is still like stupidly expensive. I mean, not stupidly, but like still like $500 is not ain't cheap. And it's interesting that like obviously in this environment, like Microsoft isn't really moving games that like make people purchase an Xbox, because they do have like an interesting setup with the two Xbox consoles, but like they've done the Wii U equivalent of a naming scheme and then just proceeded to not release any games that actually make you want to purchase the Xbox. So it's like, yeah, there is probably actually again the same issue where like you own the Xbox One, like do you want to upgrade? I mean, any games that I can play it by Xbox One? No! Okay, good, then I will stay with it. Only not worth. I assume there's a not behind the worth. If you have already a high-end PC. That's the thing I'm kind of trying to point out. It's like, even if you don't have a high-end PC, if you have a last-gen console, like, the amount of games you can play already is already... of new releases still to this day is like... high. Very high. Like, the PlayStation 5 basically removes the point of owning a PlayStation. Well, PlayStation 4 removes the point of owning a PlayStation 5. It's only like, well, you know, you don't have to repurchase all your games and stuff. Like, a PlayStation 5 is making the PlayStation 5 is making a good case for buying a PlayStation 3. It's the funny thing with it.
Car on the right. Clear on the right.
And there's still this, like, these consoles, like, raise the entire, like, paradox of, like, it has become significantly easier to develop games. The average computer is capable of running Blender. Blender is... It doesn't just catch fire immediately as soon as you open a 3D game engine editor and stuff like that. You can develop games. Hardware is more accessible. I mean, back in the 90s, they would have needed to spend like months worth of engineering wages on like just the engineer's workstation as well. It's like, and that workstation still would catch fire while trying to model a light polygonal shape, and then you need to optimize it out of the wazoo to just maybe get the thing to run at like a reasonable frame rate. And they produce still like tons and tons of games. And then today, when like you have excessive amounts of hardware power, like basically every problem that you could run into there's a library already for it. There's 3D models that pre-made assets that you can purchase for relatively cheap. All of that exists already. And like, why are your game budgets completely spiraling out of control when this all exists over there? You can look over to the modding, see there's like, yeah, they're eating good because they can work with the tech apparently. Well, there's that. It's an interesting paradox. There's probably more depth to it, to why. I mean, it doesn't. Obviously, one of the big problems is it doesn't help, and you have like your entire studio is basically made out of fucking interns. It's like, yeah, that's good reason why there's a problem. When previously, you had a bunch of senior developers that just would be able to solve massive problems. And make the impossible possible. Can you imagine fitting an entire video game into 4 GB of RAM? Like the amount of asset management that games like New Vegas are doing to avoid themselves running out of RAM is just insane. And it's like, it sometimes doesn't work, but like it's impressive that it's even like at all at times working. We have to do one more pit stop. Yeah, we might end up actually ending up last here. I'm not Jimmy is actually leading the race this time around. He finished P3 last time around, I think. He was one of the GT3 cars that didn't lap me in that race. The first one that didn't lap me, like finished like a decent chunk of time behind me. But yeah, I mean he's 120 seconds behind, which indicates that he will probably catch up to me in about 3 laps. Although I do have to also do a pit stop still, so go figure. You have to pick up 1 liter and then just finish. Because I have like 6 laps worth of fuel, which is about an hour. It predicts. Which is a long time, and I can. Considering there's 30 minutes remaining on the time.
Slow car ahead. Yellow flag, be careful.
Okay, that's actually the car in front of me that's dropping back there. Right, back up to 11th, but like, I think we're not quite getting into the top 10 today. Oh, this was nice, just chatting stream here. Like the 1.5 hours so far passed by relatively quickly. I'm thinking about the state of the gaming industry in some ways. Huh. Yeah, I do need to actually, besides doing assignments and stuff, I do need to get started on starting the work on my Porsche livery, because, you know, I don't want to run the entire championship with what I have currently. I have a because I want to draw a certain character. And I have a vague idea of how I want this character to look, and I think one idea is probably to model the character in Vroid, because it's relatively easy to do. Manipulate the character relatively easily, and then perhaps pose it and draw over it. Because I kind of want to drawn style, but like I need them to do still shading on it, and it's like, yeah, that's difficult. To say the least. Just shading is quite something PanAm's a bit concerned with. Yes, I don't really have a clue how to draw properly. I'm just like not really a digital artist. It is that. Also, I only have like vague ideas. I don't have really what color spectrum I kind of want to use for the car and stuff like that. It's not quite set in stone for that. Patterns and everything. Although I could perhaps block it out with a different character. To be forced to boo. Ah, yes. We've done no like there's a GT3 behind us. It's Qualy. You're not passing me to that corner, Jesus Christ.
Car on the left. Clear on the left.
Like, just like, no, you're not in any hurry. You don't dive me into like a fucking corner when you're like miles behind. That's just like not happening. Just stand your ground, get an exit, and just pass me on the next straightaway. Well, actually, I just noticed like I would have been in the top 10 there. I guess we've had another retirement there. Oh, another toe. Yeah, I think the McLaren that we saw at the top before 8 has towed. I think that was Gaudies, and he's in the pits after a tow. Well, still finishing up the tow. If he's gonna, finish the race is the other question. They do have also Lee still. We have to be careful to complete my mandatory pit stops. Well, it's probably like, if I want to get lapped actually by the lead, that's probably sensible if I just come in at the end of this lap, maybe. Well, he's gonna catch me quite a bit, and like I would have much standing time because I'm only spending about 25 seconds driving through the pit lane, and then just need a bit of fuel, which is like 5 seconds of pulling up, going up jacks and down. So we should be fine. Just we do our splash and dash. Just using this second pit strategy because I don't want to reduce the fuel load. Alright, 3 seconds worth of fuel. Still no rain, so we can remain rain free. Enough to get to the end from this point, I'm pretty sure. I mean, some of the GT3 drivers may need to pit before the end of this race. Like, yeah, Qualy, for example, kind of needs to, but I think he has already done that second pit stop at this point. His additional foot. Oh fuck!
Got some light damage in the front of the car.
Well, that's not quite what I was, hoping for, expecting. Yeah, that's a lot of damage. Like, that's 20 seconds worth of damage just there. Yeah, that's just touch grass. That's what happens, guys, when you touch grass. Right, no suspension damage. But yeah, 21 seconds worth of damage. I think we will just stay out and take the damage repairs. Like, I mean, sure, the car's gonna be slow, but like, doesn't even matter. We'll just complete the mandatory. Like, there was just like nothing there I could do. It's like once I touch the grass with the outside tires, it's just gone. Like, if you very much think you're, you know, done on this track, it can totally just throw you such a curveball here and very much end your race right there then. I mean, I still got lucky that I still sort of am able to just walk away with a slightly wounded car. That's not guaranteed for most people. Well, it doesn't really seem to like lose much time in terms of the... Oh fuck. Slid off into the grass again! It's not losing much time, I'm losing mainly time when I drive off the road myself. Go figure. Okay, let's come into the box. What do you mean slow car ahead? Let's get this configured. Let's Kelly, there's no one in front of me. This gap just suddenly shot down by 10 seconds. Yeah, he's coming in. He's driving so slowly that I'm catching up to him in the pit lane. Right, so we're gonna try lining it up this time around. Okay. Okay, Jimmy just crossed start finish, so he's gonna come up to me sooner rather than later. Yeah, there he is with his pink car. He's running an Aston today.
Faster cars approaching. Watch out.
I never remember what he ran around one. I think perhaps a BMW.
Car on the right. Clear on the right.
Yes, he put his face on the rear of the car. Oh wait, that must be then a livery that he's already used at some event that I had downloaded the livery set for. It's interesting, what events would I have downloaded the livery set for? He drove a GT3. Or is he just using someone else's GT3 livery? Happens to have his face on it. I don't remember. I am pretty sure I didn't download the livery set for this championship. Right, we're running P10 right now, but like only because B Lee is right now 2 seconds behind us. Which yeah, I think he's gonna pass us very soon. Although I think Lee as well has done his second pit stop too early to be able to get to the end of the race. We might have to also pit. Just buy us some time, but like we have also 3 laps to go at this point. Because when the leader crossed start finish, it was well more than sufficient time to start another 3rd lap. Which will mean that likely Kelly and Lee will catch up before the end of this. Although it do be a bit embarrassing to, you know, have to overtake the GT4 for position with like 15 minutes to go. The GT4 car has been beating you for like most of the race. Yeah, back out of the top 10 now. We shall see. Kelly is 76 seconds behind. As I said, 3 laps. I will likely not survive 3 laps against them. Godias has not, I think, continued out of the pit lane. He's remained there in P13. So I may just be banished this time around to finishing actually last. Barring some sort of cosmic intervention for that. Flores. Didn't Flores also like start towards the back of the field? Oh, he's running P2 now. Although still like 100 seconds adrift from me and 115, like nearly 2 minutes adrift from Dreamy. You know, in a lot of circuits with me, you're basically lapping your opponent. That's just a Nordschleife moment right there. The rate this gap is reducing, it will probably pass me at the beginning of the 3rd lap. Maybe even on the GP loop again. Lee is not really escaping out fast here in this section. I'm keeping the gap at about 6.7 seconds. But again, we shall see if he needs to pit stop. Get sufficient mileage towards the end. Qualy has reduced the gap down to 50 seconds. 77. That's like, I mean, we're going a lot when I'm on the straight. Well, not actually, he won't gain a lot while I'm on the straight. He will gain a lot when he's on the straight. But I will attribute that to the next lap. Yeah, I mean, getting 25 seconds in a lap is really not shabby. That's more like 30 at this point. Oh, Jimmy has also come in. Besides having already completed both pit stops. Lee has continued on. But that makes the situation a bit spicy, because if Jimmy doesn't... I mean, Jimmy's gonna lap me again for sure. But if he wouldn't be, I'm... a little too short of actually getting to the end. Right, Qualy is about 41 seconds behind. Doesn't mean, as I said, he will probably catch up to me on the GP loop at the end of. Flores needs to pee. Okay. Well, the problem is he has someone right behind him compared to Jimmy, who can just afford doing a pit stop. Yeah, he's 25 seconds behind me. He'll for sure pass me again. If he doesn't, I will just come into the pits at the end of the race and take the necessary fuel to get me further. Well, Jimmy probably just put a fresh set of tires on. Oh yeah, that is Lee. Okay, Lee has retired. He's just disappeared. So that leaves us right now running in P9. So even when Qualy catches up to us, we will finish in the top 10. Because there will be 10 cars finishing. Well, actually, Qualy hasn't... Well, yeah, Qualy is still in the race, but like Lee has definitely... Oh no, Lee has towed the car. Lee has decided from his accident to tow instead of trying to continue on. Although, probably into retirement. Well, the thing is, because Jimmy decided to pit, he might not have to do an extra lap after this. Because of Jimmy's extra pit stop, it's gotta get tight for him to perhaps start on a lap. Okay, Kelly just had an incident behind. So his gap is back up to 44 seconds. If this happens, that Jimmy doesn't start another lap, then it would mean that I obviously end up still finishing in front of Kelly. That's the top of this curb. About 5 seconds behind here. It's hard to gauge if he, you know, has enough time to finish the lap. I think he still has. Still 3 minutes 30 on the clock.
Faster cars approaching.
Like, it's not enough for me to complete the lap and start another lap myself before the time expires. But because of how fast he is, oh god.
Car on the left. Clear on the left.
That got a bit awkward. Well, his closing speed is probably not even that fast against me up the hill there. I'm running 230 nearly, and he's running probably 255 at most up the hill. So yeah, we shall see if we can pull it off to get to the finish line at this rate. Could get tight. If he, you know, gets to the finish line after the time expires, then that would ensure for me P9, but if he gets across before that, well, that will end up being P10 then for me. Because Kelly will for sure then just dispose of me relatively quickly, probably in the first sector on the Nordschleife. Getting it validated there. Jimmy is 9 seconds ahead, but he hasn't even started the straight and he's... Or has he maybe already? Because, you know, he's 10 seconds up the road for me. I think it's not gonna be quite enough. It's 30 seconds right now on the clock. That's gotta get tight, really tight. No, I don't think it's enough because he isn't even at the gantry yet. From which it takes about 20 seconds to get to the finish line. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, expired. And Jimmy is about to approach start finish. Yep. Wasn't even that close at that point. But yeah, that means I can actually finish P9. Also, Kelly didn't even gain any time on this lap after his incident.
Excellent job in P1. What a race. Well done. Well managed. Bring it back home.
God, that stalled. I mean, he has a running engine still. It's just I booped him out of the way. Because stopping in the middle of the start finish straight is like not great, you know. I mean, another W for me. GT4, but also we got another top 10 finish in overall. And finishing in front of a GT3 car again. It actually, you know, finished. Although we didn't get to finish on the lead lap, but it would have been possible in 90-minute race. Just in a 2-hour race, it isn't possible for a GT4 car to drag itself onto the lead lap. Even when, you know, the leader pits an extra time. Just not quite enough. I don't know what he was thinking, if he was like genuinely wanting to, you know, use this to not cause another lap to be run. So the race ends after 14 laps for him. Or if he was trying to do like a fastest lap on the last lap and then just slightly miscalculated that with the extra pit stop he would be just a tad bit too slow to complete the race. Lee just sent a message, okay. Let me check on this. Okay, so I'll be coming into the pit lane here. Oh fuck. At least, you know, it's a cooldown. Up one, but like mad. Yeah, 10 cars. Well, actually, Lee is back on the track. B Lee. So. Oh! Apparently those two collided. Because Kelly just complained about it. Well, that's keys. He retired apparently at some point here. Oh. And then I'm missing purchase. Ah, that's what happened. He flew off here. Boah, that's not nice. That car's toast. And yeah, he just retired from that. Jimmy, Kelly, this Kelly. And what happened on the final lap? Because he's. But yeah. Oh, he had that incident. He drove way too wide and then just spun. But he did collect damage on that lap. So I don't know what barrier he hit. Wow. Yes, we got a barrier. Well, that's grass stepping now. Oh god. That's the barrier that he had. That's why I was going well and not catching me at all, not in lap. But yeah, that's not a particularly great setup to drive, apparently. So if you drive over a crest and the car just goes... Yeah, the problem is he didn't feed the throttle early enough back in. You can hear, like, he's off throttle, and he needs to feed throttle now, because the car's already starting to oversteer. And, like, he's now feeding throttle, and the car's just gone at this point already. Like, this is the point where he needed to apply brakes to just maybe avoid hitting the wall by saving it. It's way too late for, like, a feeding throttle to stabilize the car. It's just reaction is way too slow for this. It's steering is straight, but like... You don't make it for this corner. What happened with Lee that he, you know... When he towed the car. Oh, that car looks toast. I mean, it looks quite second-hand at this point when he passed me already. What the fuck? That's not how you take the chicane, but sure. Just run through it in like 4 third gear. You go perhaps mid corner, you shift down to third. And into the fourth, shift down to third. Maybe run the entire thing in third, but like not second. I was about to think like he's gonna hit the wall here, but like no, the car did turn. And the GT4 would have hit the wall there. Oh god, he just completely forgot to brake. Yeah, he just forgot to brake for this corner. Well, that's a brain fart and a half. But still not an incident with... You know... It actually happens with Kelly on his... Yeah, we would have been broken my face if I was running over to get... Please stop doing that, notice. Okay, they were fucking around with each other a bit. But yeah, we lost like quite a few cars in the race. We had 19 starters. We had, well, 11 finishes. Lee actually could drag this car to the finish line.
Green light. Go, go, go.
So there's that. I didn't want to figure out what happened at the pit entry for Kelly. Question is when will I pit? Well, I think that was literally the incident where I crashed myself. Yeah, that's evil. ran onto the curbing here and then ran out. It went a bit wide, but also like ran out of curbing, and then just I was gone. Yeah, okay, I'm going before I even like run out of curbing there, but like it's. But yeah, it's a parallel impact. The car's relatively fine with that. Oh, Kelly's car looks a bit secondhand. Saw him accelerate from incident. Guess I thought I saw something when I didn't. Gas has been entry. And I think they are somehow competing in like the fucking Olympics in terms of like how stupidly crash. He just forgot to turn over the crest there, and then just had a massive shunt due to that. He isn't really shifting down to first gear, which I would totally done at that point. So just get some drive. Okay, finally they start shifting down. Very late commitment there to the you know, you can enter the pit lane, like nothing's stopping you. Well, you're like not capable of adjusting your pit menu while you're driving into the pit lane. You rush a stall there as well. Yeah, I'm like literally right behind them with my Ginetta there. And is the car not damaged? I think it never was done. Well, actually, there it is. And there we have the answer where the damage comes from. He spun there. And then Salas did retire as well. We crashed here. I mean, oh, he clipped the inside curb there. I mean, I got nearly killed by the second cup that's fully spun around in. Quite bad steering damage. Probably recoverable. Hey. Way to bounce off a wall. Yeah, it's 5:42 AM. And I need to get back to bed. I'm definitely quite tired. I'm starting to I know my eyes are starting to fall shut. Didn't he die up here? At his recovery drive, or was that someone else? Oh. Oh. Yeah, he seems to just recover the car. Fine. And who was it I met up at the top of 4.8? That one lap. He hits just a bit wide around the curb here and it dies. Ah, but then he decides to tow. Yeah, I think it's good, yes. They have very similar names. Gonzalez retired. Good, yes, I think just parked the car. Ouch. No, that's a bit less fun one. Well, the damage isn't too bad. Like, the windscreen isn't cracked and everything. I think I go. Okay. Now the car's got severe steering damage and he's like, nope, we will not continue that one on. Right. Okay, I think we've seen it all. Yeah, I'm really getting very quickly tired. It was a nice race. I did enjoy it. And I didn't get sleepy somehow during the race, but like, man, I'm so sleepy afterwards now. I was on rails. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, right, the paying for the live. Because, you know, I obviously went live with the stream. I don't know when I will be back. Maybe next week at some point. For some... Well, I mean, Tuesday we will have pseudo racing, maybe, if the current servers work. I don't even know which track, but if we're gonna run the work again there in GT4, see if we can get another W there, or you know, the Camaro is quite a bit of a challenge. You should take a shower. No, I haven't. Like, I'm not sure if I kind of want to right now because I'm tired. Because I would genuinely fall asleep in the shower. Well, the problem is because I would have to take 2 showers because I have, you know, just run this race then afterwards. Right, at some point it's just too many showers. Yeah, you can notice when I'm tired because my heart rate will drop. I'm now in the 70s. I will call it a night now. I shall take a shower, but I think I will do that when I get up again. Maybe after breakfast. Yeah, that's the problem with me. I weasel my way out of things like that. It's a pain that, I guess maybe if I get up and I might not be quite as tired anymore. Well, it's nearly 6 a.m. for me, so I mean, you can see the light here. Like, this is the sun coming up. It's been getting bright outside again. What the fuck? Yeah, there's light. This is the sun. Go to sleep, what the fuck? Yeah, that's the point. Like, I've been, when I was going over the replay, I was starting to pass out, genuinely. Like, I was struggling to, like, stay awake. At times, waiting for whatever I was trying to find to happen. It's quite something. That's why I'm saying, like, I would actually fall asleep when I go into the shower. I kind of want to do one, but, like, I just don't think I can. Also, if I, wait for breakfast, there's actually, warm water gonna come out of the shower without having to wait 15 minutes. So that's definitely an advantage. And I don't want to freeze myself to death, so, Whatever. I shall say good night. I will definitely take a shower before the next stream. I will promise that. No questions asked for that one. And perhaps put some new fighters on again. Good night. Bye bye. Mm-hmm.